It's almost!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost with me, Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Right on the show today is the Kanpur cricket venue in India, a death trap for its spectators. There's a lot of drama that's unfolding ahead of the second test between India and Bangladesh's men's cricket teams. What's all the noise about? I'll tell you more on the show. Football stories are creating some stir across the world. The attacks of Israel on Lebanon have brought football to a standstill. What's the situation like and what does the future hold? And what's the latest controversy to rock Turkey? A club is demanding the sacking of the national basketball coach over a gesture he made after the match. More on that in the show up ahead. But first, a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, India's cricket board BCCI will officially release retention rules for the Indian Premier League auction 2025. Reports say IPL teams will be allowed to retain 5 players. The right to match or the RTM card will also be reportedly off the table. The 2025 IPL auction is set or expected to be held later this year. Over in football, Real Madrid forward Kylian Mbappe has been sidelined with a thigh injury. Reports say the French captain could be off the turf for as long as 3 weeks. This means he'll miss Real's derby with Atletico Madrid on Sunday. Mbappe was substituted in the 80th minute during Real's fixture against Alaves. Manchester United opened their Europa League campaign with a drab show. They stuttered to a 1-1 draw against Dutch club FC Twente. Christian Eriksen put United ahead in the first half. FC Twente bounced back with an equaliser in the 69th minute. More details emerge related to F1 legend Michael Schumacher's blackmail case. German prosecutors have charged 3 men for blackmailing Schumacher's family. The main suspect demanded over $16 million to withhold private photos and videos. The images were from before and after Schumacher's 2013 accident. Schumacher, in fact, hasn't been seen in public since then. And summing it up with chess, India's Chess Olympiad winners will receive rupees 3.2 crores worth rewards. Each player from the men's and the women's teams will receive rupees 25 lakhs each. Meanwhile, the captains will get rupees 15 lakhs each. This was announced by the All India Chess Federation. India secured a historic double gold in the tournament in Hungary just a while back. The Indian city of Kanpur is famous for its rich food, its culture, a bit of old school charm and colonial architecture. The irony here is that a piece of architecture could prove disastrous for the second test between India and England and Bangladesh men's cricket teams. Officials have raised concerns over a section of the stands at the Kanpur Green Park Stadium ahead of the test that's scheduled to start tomorrow. The Uttar Pradesh Cricket Association is racing against time, in fact, to ensure that this test starts and ends with no drama other than what fans hope and expect to witness on the field between the two sides. So what's the scare really? The State Public Works Department has warned the association that one of the stands is unfit and dangerous. They say it may not even be able to bear the weight of fans gathering in that particular stand and could collapse or cave in. This, as reported in a daily newspaper, the stand we are talking about is the Balcony C stand. Officials believe the stand will not be able to hold full capacity crowd, and with the match starting tomorrow, we are pretty certain the Cricket Association won't be able to renovate that portion in time. The solution is half of the stands to be kept open for fans. That's what the association is saying. That's what they want, so that they at least try and get as many people coming in to watch. It benefits the association, but is that a wise decision?
The PWD has raised some issues, and we have agreed that we will not sell all the tickets of Balcony C. We have been told to sell only 1,700 tickets for the stand, which has a capacity of 4,800. The repair work will continue for the next couple of days.
That's what the Cricket Association seems to have confirmed to the newspaper. What he's essentially saying is that this is not to be taken so seriously. The work on the stadium can resume, and meanwhile, they will let half of the fans in to occupy half of that part of the stand. But is that sensible? The association was advised to close off that stand completely. That's what we're hearing too. The PWD has said that this is not the ideal situation to host fans in. The entire stand should be shut during the course of the test due to safety and security concerns. The PWD has taken their time with this assessment. A team of engineers from the department spent 6 long hours inspecting the conditions, inspecting the stadium, the infrastructure, in surveying the structure, and have given their just and fair assessment. They say there is a potential hazard in keeping this particular stand open. The media reports say that the PWD in fact is highly skeptical even of this solution that the UPCA is offering, is trying to settle on, which is letting half of the fans in. That's what the court says. That's what the PWD department is supposed to have said in the report, that even 50 fans gathering and even creating a bit of flutter, jumping about when something dramatic happens, could really cause something to go wrong. Now, the last time Green Park hosted an international game was way back in 2021 when New Zealand toured India for a 3-match series. Green Park has not hosted too many matches, we know that. It doesn't come under the direct jurisdiction of the Cricket Association, who conduct the games over in the newly constructed Ekana Stadium in Lucknow, a city not too far away from Kanpur. That has been also host to the IPL matches, particularly of one particular franchise, the Lucknow franchise. And this is not the only concern then. The floodlights and the general infrastructure surrounding that at the venue is also very questionable, something that also came under scrutiny in the event, will come under scrutiny in the event of bad light. In fact, that's what happened back in 2021 as well, when India and New Zealand took off. The test was affected by this very issue on day 5. Now, these are not the only worries. There have also been protests from certain groups saying they did not want Bangladesh cricket team to even come in here and Kanpur to even host this test, adding to another side of a headache that none of the officials really want. Top that all up with the weather. There are chances of rain, as it predicts a very cloudy few days to come, with humidity hitting as high as 90%. This test match is key for India in the race to World Test Championship final, a slot there, and they need 6 out of 9 test match wins. So every test result is critical, and the earlier you rake up the points, the better. But will these issues derail India on that path? 2 wars at different parts are rocking the world. The long military campaigns have taken the lives of many civilians. That is the immediate major impact of the wars, of course. And amid all the bloodshed, there is another element that continues to be impacted: the sporting structure and culture of the countries involved in these wars. While Russia is facing the brunt of getting banned by various sporting federations and being at one corner of the world really, for their Ukraine invasion, Ukraine is still trying to put up a brave front by competing in major tournaments like the Olympics. But in West Asia, the situation is a little worse. The catastrophic Israel attack on Lebanon is the latest. It's of course led to Lebanese Football Association delaying all of their matches in its domestic tournaments indefinitely. This has come in the wake of Israel's attacks and the threat of an all-out war. Just this week, an attack killed more than 570 people, and at least 50 of those were children. It was one of those deadliest attacks in Lebanon in decades. And one outcome of it is, of course, football events being cancelled altogether. This comes as a major setback for Lebanon, who have shown a lot of promise at the international stage quite recently. A majority of the players who represent the national squad play in the Lebanese Premier League, the top tier there. Only a handful of footballers represent clubs abroad. Stopping all football events means no game time at all for most of these Lebanese national side. The players will have to rely on international fixtures, which, as we know, is quite rare given football is majorly driven by club football here. If you see the Lebanese national squad, almost everyone plays in the domestic league. 10 out of the 11 players play in the Lebanese Premier League. Even their captain, Mohamed Haider, and their most senior player, Hassan Matok, play in the country's domestic league. The only exception being Omar Bougel, who plays for AFC Wimbledon over in England. So clearly the full stop to domestic football means no matches at all for all of these players too. If you're a sports enthusiast or a Lebanese fan, then this is a cause for concern because the same team showed a lot of promise in the past 4 months. In July, Lebanon pushed the SAF Championship semi-final match against India to a penalty shootout. Yes, Lebanon lost the game, but their brave fight against a more established, settled nation like India was impressive. And just a month before that, Lebanon held the same Indian side to a 0-0 draw in the Intercontinental Cup. During the AFC Asian Cup too, 114th ranked Lebanon drew their match against 90th placed China. And at the World Cup qualifiers, the Lebanese team narrowly missed qualifying for the third round. Despite their struggles, the team has played with a lot of spirit. They've showed promise at the international stage. Their game not just giving joy to the people of Lebanon, but also to every football enthusiast. The Lebanese football team is nothing short of a Cinderella story. The squad is on the rise despite representing a war-torn nation. Very similar to the rise of Afghanistan men's cricket team. Lebanon was on a similar path. The national team has the potential to do further. Players have the faith and ambition to punch above their weight, but they need more playtime to travel and unlock their skills. The war has shattered their dreams of continuing that very ambition. And it's not just Lebanon who is paying the price of this continuous war. Palestinian football too has gotten choked because of the ongoing war with Israel. Just like Lebanon, the Palestinian domestic football tournament, called the West Bank Premier League, has been halted because of the war. Like Lebanese football, most of the players from Palestinian international squad play in the West Bank League. And this is the same squad that is currently competing for a World Cup spot in the third round of the Asia qualifiers. This same Palestinian side also reached the quarterfinal of the AFC Asian Cup earlier this year, where they lost to Qatar 2-1. But not before making the Asian champions work hard for that win. It's a squad that made the Asian Cup exciting with their grit, incredible performances and resilience. But just like Lebanon, their dreams too have been paralyzed. If only the death toll could show the numbers of sporting casualties, the number of shattered dreams. Because the casualties of war is more than what is there on the surface, much more than the bodies we see, much more than the blood that's shed. That's the effect of a war. It's not just the bloodbath that rocks a country, it also suffocates the dreams of many, dreams of shining at the world stage. Sports is often the first casualty on the battlefield, and it's always the athletes and the sporting heroes who pay the price for this. Turkey and Messi sports seems to be a never-ending saga. Now we all know about the intense rivalry between Turkish football club Fenerbahce and Galatasaray, called as the Intercontinental Derby. It is the biggest in Turkey, has the most intense contests all over the years. And on occasions, ugly feuds too. But the rivalry isn't just restricted to football now, it's also entered basketball. So much so that Fenerbahce organization wants Turkey's national basketball coach, Ergin Ataman, sacked. Fenerbahce feels Ataman mocked fans and insulted the community, and now the Fenerbahce basketball team have decided not to send its players to the Turkey squad until Ataman steps down. Here's a report on the unfolding drama.
Fenerbahce is showing how sporting tradition works. While the term means passing down club support and rivalries through generations, Fenerbahce is using the same principle for their rivalry against Galatasaray across sports. While the rivalry between the two clubs has been a marquee event for the supporters, Basketball controversy is growing to be as intense as football. It all started with Turkey's and Greek basketball club Panathinaikos coach Ergin Ataman showing his support towards Galatasaray. This happened during the friendly game between Panathinaikos and Galatasaray. After the Greek club's victory, Ataman, who is a Galatasaray supporter in football, raised his fingers, pointing out 3-1 to the Galatasaray fans. It's believed that Ataman was addressing the Galatasaray's 3-1 win against Fenerbahce in football. And the matter isn't just a solo incident. Fenerbahce supporters and Ataman haven't had a healthy relationship. Before this, Fenerbahce fans and Ataman have been involved in a swearing battle too.
There is not any police, there is not any security on the door that the people attacked to me in the beginning.
So given the tension between Fenerbahce fans and Ataman, the coach issued an apology after the recent fallout. But the Fenerbahce organization is unmoved. They are offended by the coach's act and wants him to be sacked. The reason Fenerbahce got so angry was because the Galatasaray vs Fenerbahce football match was full of controversy. Even the head coach of Fenerbahce football team, Jose Mourinho, was livid, so much so that he did not take part in the post-match press conference. The reason? Galatasaray coach Okan Buruk took an hour to finish his press conference. So a furious Mourinho decided to not attend the conference at all.
In 24 years of football, I never in my life escaped from a press conference, especially after a defeat. I understand the coach of an away team going to the press conference first, but there have to be certain limits. 70 minutes? I'm sorry, but it's a lack of respect.
Clearly, Ataman added more fuel to the fire. His act not only reminded Fenerbahce of the defeat, but also the embarrassment they suffered, which puts the Turkish association in a spot of bother. Because Ataman is a decorated name in basketball. In his 4 seasons as coach of the Panathinaikos, he has won the EuroLeague thrice, even beating the likes of Real Madrid. But seems like the coach has stuck his neck where it doesn't belong, bitten off more than he can chew. There is a huge decision now to be made by Turkey. Do they want to take sides with one of their best coaches, who has the potential to make the national side a potent one, or do they respect the sentiments of the Fenerbahce organization and go against him?
Time for last serve. Now, can you combine skydiving with surfing? Sounds a bit of a tricky and a very scary challenge. Not for Chilean wingsuit flyer Sebastian Alvarez. He produced the world's first skydive to surf jump above Abu Dhabi's Hudayriyat Island. Take a look. Quite a clean landing that, but as they say, no guts, no glory. That's it. Thanks for joining in here today on Firstpost. This wraps it up. I'll see you again tomorrow with lots more perspectives from the world of sports. Till then, take care.